bring a major fight to Arizona tomorrow night. The first thing that I'd like to do is ask all of the elected officials and former elected officials to come up and stand here with me. We have Jonathan Payton, former legislator who was the author of the original bill that made MMA fighting legal in Arizona. We have Representative Jeff Winiger, who's newly representative-elect. Jeff Winiger, former city councilman from Chandler, who's a big fan of MMA and the UFC and a small business owner himself. And we have Representative Gray from the West Valley. We'd like to invite him to come up and stand here with us. We just got here in the nick of time. And then we have the Speaker of the House elect, Dave Gowan from Southern Arizona. Am I missing anyone? This is a great opportunity for us for a number of reasons. Foremost, I'm a fan of the UFC. I have been for quite a while. I think it's a great metaphor for life, to fight and to set goals in life and to try to win. Aside from that, I felt for a long time that as this is a growing sport, it's very popular, it brings a tremendous amount of investment to the communities where they have events, and I'm just delighted that they have brought a major fight to Arizona, and publicly and on the record, I want to ask them to continue to come to Arizona often and to spend a lot of money. So that's our request as the state of Arizona. I'd like to turn the time over to Executive Vice President of the UFC, Michael Mersch, to introduce the fighters that are with us today.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. My name is Michael Mersch. It is truly an honor to be here today. The UFC, on behalf of the company and its owners, Frank Fertitta, Lorenzo Fertitta, and Dana White, are extremely honored to be asked to be here today to work with all these fine gentlemen and to have this kind of opportunity to talk about our sport, to talk about the most important part of our sport, which is our athletes. We are very grateful for that opportunity. We're grateful also to work with great people like this that help us and encourage us forcefully to come here as often as possible. We look forward to that. Just want to talk for just a second about the incredible event we're going to put on tomorrow night. It is an incredible card. We expect over 17,000 people to be in attendance tomorrow night at the US Airways Center, or US Airways Arena. We're very, very excited about that. We're bringing a lot of, I think, business development and economic infrastructure to the Phoenix area, and it's just a real pleasure to be here. But again, I can talk all day about the company. It's the important part of those, and what I think everyone wants to hear about is from the most important thing that we have, which is our athletes. I've got with me today three of our best athletes, all with roots here in Arizona. Our former UFC and WC champion, Benson Henderson. Top 10 light heavyweight, fighting in January coming up in next year, Arizona State wrestling product, and All-American here at Arizona State, Ryan Bader. And another top 10 product of Arizona State, All-American as well, and fighting next weekend in Brazil as the main event on the card, CB Dalloway. So again, happy to talk, but I want to let these guys kind of talk. These are the guys that have the Arizona roots. These are the guys that I think this is extra special for. And so without further ado, I'll turn it over. Perhaps we'll start with our man Ben Henderson here.
I just want to say thanks to everybody coming out. It's nice to be able to be a part of such a great event here in Phoenix. Me, as someone who moved here to Phoenix, adopted Phoenix as my hometown, it's nice to be able to fight, here. I'm not on this card, unfortunately, but I look forward to being on the future Phoenix card. Having this first event sell out, over 17,000 people be here in attendance. You guys can for sure bet that the UFC will be here again. And thanks for all these guys for the hard work, for Tom and Jonathan to get the UFC down here, to twist their arm a little bit, twist down in Mike's arm to make sure the UFC comes down here. So just a lot of appreciation on my part. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, first off, thank you guys. We put in a lot of hard work, and it's been done. It's not done just before the fight. I've wrestled since I was 8 years old. These guys have done the same, and all that hard work has accumulated into being in the sport we love, and that's mixed martial arts. And I want to thank you for, first off, the recognition and allowing the UFC to come here to Arizona and allow us to show what we do on the biggest stage. And we've been waiting for a long time for that. And for us, it's a huge thing. And I wrestled at Arizona State, so I was CB all the way back here, and we did that whole thing. We moved on to mixed martial arts. We both co-own a gym in Gilbert, Arizona, and we come from different states, but I've been down here since 2001. And Arizona's my home now, and I have a family here, and so to see the UFC here tomorrow is a huge thing for us and a huge thing for the fans. People have been asking for this for so long. That's all I've heard about. Why isn't the UFC here? Well, it's so close. Why aren't they coming down here? Now it's here. It's a huge Fox card. One of the bigger cards of the year. All heavyweights. It's going to be a great card. And thank you for the recognition. And recognizing that is recognizing all our work we've put in our whole life to be where we're at today. So thank you very much.
Just first and foremost, I want to thank everyone that had a hand in bringing the UFC here. I know it was a lot of hard work, and especially want to thank the fans. You guys pushing and tweeting Dana and Lorenzo on Twitter, getting them down here. Me personally, my last 4 out of 5 fights have been in different countries. So to finally be able to come home and perform in front of the Arizona crowd in my own backyard someday is going to be amazing to me, and definitely look forward to that in the future. And look forward to the event tomorrow night, and 17,000 people expected. It's going to be huge, and all I can say is thank you to everybody, and thank you for the support.
And if I could just add, on top of the huge attendance that will be in the building tomorrow night to watch it live, this is on free-to-air television, so that's what's even more impressive about this. People can stay home and watch this from the comfort of their living room, but they appreciate seeing it live is even that much better. But of course, I would encourage everyone here to watch it live on television. It's going to be seen by millions and millions of people across the country. It's going to be shown all across the world, as a matter of fact. On average, the UFC's programming reaches about 800 million people worldwide. We have broadcasting in about 129, 130 different countries and territories all across the world. And why is that a big deal? Because it's a walking billboard for places like Phoenix, Arizona. It shows everybody how beautiful this place is. It shows everybody the great work and the great cooperation and partnership that a promoter and its athletes and the state of Arizona can have through its athletic commission by all working together to put on exciting but safe and well-run shows. So again, thank you all. We're very excited to have the opportunity to be here.
Thank you, Michael. When Jeff Bezos was asked about where Amazon was in the life cycle, he said if it was a single day, we're still in bed and the alarm hasn't gone off yet. And in many regards, that's how I look at the UFC as well. I think that their best years are still ahead. It's a sport that's in its infancy. I know that globally there's some trends where it's likely to become a mainstream sport globally, and for Arizona to be a part of this still in the early stages is very exciting. For the last 4 years, I've fought to create a better environment for businesses and for events like this in Arizona. And I've had the absolute pleasure to serve with David Gowan in the legislature. David is now the Speaker-elect, and I'd like to welcome him to the podium to have him say a few words and to read our resolution honoring the UFC today. Mr. Gowan.
I shake their hand all the time. I just want to thank you guys for recognizing Arizona as a place, as a home for UFC, because there is no doubt many fans come from Arizona itself, and many fighters have come from here. Starting out with I know Severin used to do a lot of training here, and Glenn Fry actually comes down from my region. He was a firefighter back down there. I'm from Sierra Vista, Arizona, so I know it comes from that way. I remember watching the first one. What is it, 97? 93. Was it 93? Okay, well, I meant the pay-per-view one on the where it was Gracie and wasn't it Severin and Gracie, right? Choked him out at the end, but it went blank on me. The live one did. So if you recall that, don't you? So that was crazy. That was the beginning of it, and for all you that may not know, I'm a martial artist myself. in the traditional karate system. A little gung fu aikido mix in there. I do a little mixed martial arts, but in the other manners. Yeah, well, I usually hit the throat or something. I don't like,
Happens on the
I don't
floor.
like to espouse too much strength here, but I just want to say thank you for coming here and allowing our fighters who are here that have a presence in Arizona to be able to fight in their own state. And that's exciting for me as a person who loves sports, period. And somebody who's grown up watching boxing itself at the beginning, and then going into martial arts and blending those two together. What a wonderful idea, and putting something forth that, look what you've done. It's like an economic juggernaut when you get hit somewhere. And we hope that you'll continue to come this way and help out this great state. I guess we're sold out, so maybe we'll be looking at a future one, maybe a pay-per-view or something like that, right? I got you on record, he's nodding yes. We're liking that. So we also have the originator of the bill that allowed UFC to be able to come, what you guys needed to fix the rules so that you're here now, and that is Senator Payton. And he worked on this bill a bit with one of our staffers up on the second floor for a while, and I actually had to get involved in that a little bit because I thought they might be touching the traditional karate in the tournaments that we hold, so we made sure that was okay, right? But with that, I want to read the proclamation that we put together from the House, and it says, Arizona House of Representatives, House recognition of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Whereas the United States has more than 38.9 million UFC fans nationwide, with over 875,000 fans in Arizona, and whereas the UFC produces more than 45 live events annually and hosts events in some of the most prestigious arenas and venues around the world, and whereas the UFC is broadcast in 129 countries and reaches over 800 million television households across the globe in 28 different languages, and whereas there are presently 39 UFC fighters that were either born, currently live in, or went to school in the great state of Arizona, and whereas the UFC has licensed over 100 UFC gym locations nationally and internationally, including locations in Glendale, Mesa, Phoenix, and Scottsdale, and whereas the UFC has created spin-off industries such as the Ultimate Fighter reality TV series, UFC Fit, UFC Magazine, UFC branded apparel, and have partnered with EA Sports to produce UFC-inspired video games, and whereas all of these accomplishments and involvements show dedication to the fans of UFC around the world, the UFC dedication year after year to their fans and the economic impact the organization brings cannot be understated. Therefore, be it resolved that the members of the House of Representatives of the state of Arizona do hereby recognize and honor the Ultimate Fighting Championship for the outstanding service and commitment to fans and the positive economic impact it has brought to the United States and to the people of the great state of Arizona. Dated this 12th day of December 2014, signed by myself, as Speaker-elect, and Mr. Tom Freese, Corporation Commissioner-elect. And again, I want to thank you, and I'll give you this time. I forgot to throw my hair back. And with that, if I might, the originator of the bill, you mind he comes on up? So Senator, come on up and say something. There's your bill I brought up.
Oh, thank you, David, and thank you, Tom, and thank you for the fighters for coming out. When Victor Riches and I worked on this originally some years ago, we were told there's no way this is going to pass. There's no way the UFC is ever going to come to Arizona. And then we were told once the bill was passed, good luck in getting them to come out here. That's not going to happen. And if you do get them to come out here, who's going to show up to the event? And it's one of those things where you're glad when the naysayers are wrong on every single count. And we got the bill through, but there's still, obviously, there's been more work that's been done since then with the work that Tom's done. And I'm just so excited. The biggest reason we wanted to be able to do this I listened to complaints from Trevor and Todd Lally over at Arizona Combat Sports, and they said, why can't we fight in our own state? Why can't we do that? And that was a great question, and it was a great small business kind of a question. Why can't they have their fighters fight here in the state of Arizona and other fighters from the lab and all across this great state? And the fact is there wasn't a good reason why they couldn't fight. We needed to change the rules, and that's why we as a state decided to do it. And I am waiting for the day when I can see each one of these fighters fight here in Phoenix, or maybe even my own hometown of Tucson, Arizona. And we produce great fighters here, and now their fans and their families can see it. So thanks so much for coming, and thanks to all the fans, and thanks to the fighters.
Thank you, Mr. Payton, and you're missed around here. A great statesman. I also want to welcome Representative David Livingston, who is the House Whip-elect. Thank him for joining us as well. I just want to thank everyone for coming out, wish the UFC the best of luck, and thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, you want, yeah, let's do it. I'll take some, let's do some right now.
Oh, fancy. I don't want to mess with you.
Maybe it was.
Over here.
Individuals and groups.
Fight pose.
It's over, yeah. I can get everyone over right here. Got it. Let's do it.
Thank you very much. Keep it up, I appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Another good one for this guy.
Yeah.
Great presentation. Yeah, this turned out great. I was worried that it was going to be a flop, but man, how could it be a flop? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Good to see you.
Where's it? Here. Give me one. Get your regular.
Get the regular? Yeah, you got all those. It's nice. All right. Perfect. I got it.
Get you on. I bombed you.
Take a picture, neighbor. Were you emailing the pictures?